Hello, my name is Delcina West, and I am submitting my first case study on the case of Too Busy Ray. So Ray came to me 2 months ago from his doctor, who told him that it was important for him to decrease his blood pressure and triglycerides, and he needed to lose about 40 to 50 pounds. So after the 2 months, he came back, and his assignment last week was to track his foods in a food journal. Now, Ray is the type of person who values being busy, taking care of a lot of responsibilities. He always shows up late to our sessions. I'm getting used to that. And even though when he does show up, he's finishing up a call or taking a text message and just very frazzled. So what I want to do with Ray is meet him where he is. Last week, he said that he tried to do his food journal. He did it on some days, and mornings are really good. He gets in his smoothie. He loves the super shake recipes, and he's even started to add spinach in there, which he found out to be quite good. He thought it was going to be bad. But lunch is hit or miss, and then dinner is a hot mess, according to Ray. So I asked him what happened before lunch. And he says he feels overwhelmed. He has so many different things, so many things pulling from him from one direction to another. Even his dog wants his attention. And then he'll get busy and he forgets to eat. Next thing you know, it's late, he's starving. And conveniently for him, there's a Taco Bell downstairs, so he ends up going down there to get Taco Bell. And today he told me he just doesn't feel that he can do it. So I told Ray, I said, Ray, look, at least you got here today. And it shows that this goal is very important to you. And I appreciate that. And that shows strength. And that shows that you are committed to being healthy, because ultimately that's what you want. You want to be healthy, right? And so I'm going to approach Ray in a calm, happy to see him manner. I'm going to be willing to listen to him, and I'm going to emulate a response where can sympathize with him, and I'm going to lean in and look at him and put everything away so that he knows that I'm paying attention to him, and I really want him to know that what he is saying to me is important, and I am taking the time to show him that. Now, as I said before, Ray likes to get things done, stay active, stay busy. He values being responsible for multiple tasks, which sometimes acting busy is just a way of being self-important, because it just makes him feel like he's doing a lot of things. But I don't know if he has support. He hasn't mentioned that for exactly. But I feel that Ray is a little bit uneasy about disconnecting, leaving the world behind. He feels probably that if he doesn't do something, nobody else is going to do it, and only he can do it. So we reviewed his goals. His goals are to decrease his blood pressure, decrease his triglycerides, lose that 40 to 50 pounds. He says he really wants to do that. I also believe that Ray wants to have control over his world. He's good at getting breakfast, so that tells me that his mornings are something that he actually has a good grasp on. The mornings are the times where he can get his breakfast, he can take the time to organize himself and do something for himself, so we can take advantage of that morning availability and routine. Obviously, he has a blender, he has a home, he has a kitchen, he's got money for food, probably food service delivery plans that can be good. But his obstacles are definitely time management, not prepping, and obviously having Taco Bell. But we can use Taco Bell to an advantage for Ray. He told me today that he doesn't feel that he can do this, but I'm reassuring him that yes, you can do this. You have set your mind to make this goal happen, and you have accomplished a lot of things in the past to bring you to this point. It's just that we're going to have to work together to find a way to make it fit into your life and maybe help to decrease some of the distractions. Um, I think that one of Ray's issues may be time management and stress, and that he hasn't really set any boundaries. Now, he has coworkers and he has friends, so we can actually get them involved in Ray's plan by letting them know, hey guys, my health is at a critical juncture right now. I need to decrease my blood pressure. I need to decrease my triglycerides. One of the things I need to do is take time to have lunch and find a space of calm. So if you guys can respect my boundaries, I'm going to start setting aside 20 to 30 minutes at lunchtime to make sure I get a good lunch and that I have no distractions. And if you guys can avoid calling me or asking me for anything unless it's a great emergency, I would really appreciate that. And I think that his friends will be receptive to something like that, especially if they are supportive of him. So what we're going to do is bring down and address the GSPA model to help Ray to be able to decrease some stress, find some boundaries, and plan ahead. So obviously his goal is to decrease his health markers, right? And how we're going to do that is prioritizing stress reduction. We're going to plan, prioritize, and prepare. Now, Ray is very, very busy, so we can't just ask him to find an hour every day to zoom out, to zone out or zen out or anything like that. But we're going to keep it very basic because obviously last week he wasn't able to just write his meals. That was too much for him. So we're going to back it down a little bit and ask Ray to take 5 minutes every Sunday evening to make a plan for his week ahead. And perhaps this is something he has not done before. And with this, he can find a little bit of control by looking ahead of his week, identifying his priorities. So he knows his priorities is to make sure that he gets in a meal, especially at lunchtime. So he'll identify that he needs to make sure that he needs to take lunch. And if he has obstacles, we're going to address that too. So his goal is going to be to get breakfast in the morning like he normally has been doing. I'm going to ask him if he can use his technology that he has with him all the time to set a timer during the middle of the day, like 12 or 11:30. And I'm going to get an agreement with Ray that, yeah, I can set a timer, 12 or 12:30. And I can also let my friends know that I'm not going to take calls and not schedule appointments during that time. He'll give himself 20 to 30 minutes during the middle of the day to make sure that he has a healthy meal. Now, if he doesn't bring a sandwich, because we're going to ask him to do something like maybe make a sandwich, but even if he doesn't, we can identify some healthy foods that he can get from Taco Bell since it's right downstairs. So I'll talk to him about, getting one of the Baja tacos, Baja chicken tacos. He can get 2 or maybe 3 of those. I don't know how much Ray weighs, so we'll have to identify what his caloric consumption is. But the Baja tacos are basically grilled chicken with chopped onions, tomatoes, lettuce on top of there. And those are fairly good as opposed to nothing. And he can track that on his daily meal plan. So he'll be able to, he'll have the morning times available to have his healthy smoothie and his shake. He'll set his timer during lunchtime to remind him to stop, take a break, get something to eat, which will avoid him from skipping lunch and having the starvation reaction at the end of the evening. Getting something to eat that is healthy, because we'll give him those parameters of what is, we'll give him like the green, yellow, and red versions of Taco Bell, since it's right there, because he's very busy. But this will help him to start to implement taking time for himself, prioritizing his goals, and setting boundaries, which will help to decrease his stress. Because I feel that he's stressed out because he feels he has no control. And if he has a little bit of control, it'll help to decrease his stress and help him regain a sense of purpose and help him to get back on track with his goals. Once he starts to do this every day this week, I'm sure that we will see that Ray is going to feel a little bit more in control, in alignment with his purpose, in alignment with his goals. And then we can go back to, say, tracking what you're eating, because we have to kind of step back from that because he just wasn't doing it on a regular basis. So that will be our plan based on our GSPA. And of course, I'm going to ask Ray what is his level of assurance that he can do this on a scale of 1 to 10. And if he gives me a 9 or a 10, we'll definitely go with that. If he feels that it might be too much, we may just ask him to take a few minutes during the afternoon to just sit and take a breather, take a walk, or bring some fruit that he can eat in that 30-minute time. But actually, I think he's going to go with the 30-minute break in the mid-afternoon, go down to Taco Bell and have something healthy to eat. And of course, we're going to talk about drinking water with his meal or something that's low calorie. So that is my plan for Too Busy Ray. Very simple, easy to do, fit into his routine and help him to regain a little bit more control, have some boundaries, decrease the stress, which will help to decrease his blood pressure, which is what we want to do, and become more aware of his daily routine and practices. 5 minutes every Sunday, set his goals, determine his obstacles, and set his action plan. And so that's for me from Delsina West. Thank you.